I feel like growing up, all of us want to be famous. We all want to be talked about, but sometimes getting talked about too much can be a problem. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name is Zhariya Smith, and I typically make commentary videos just like this one. So if you guys happen to like that, or you happen to dislike my gorgeous face, some may argue not, make sure to subscribe down below and hit the notification bell to get notified every single time I post, which happens to be on Mondays and on Fridays. Whew. I'm like out of breath after saying that one. Maybe I need to change my intro. Either way, we have a new candle. I don't know if this is gonna end up being my thing. If in like 2 years I release a candle company, we'll all know why from me being obsessed with candles. But either way, this one is tangerine guava. As we know, I do love fruity smells. And like food smells generally. So this one says that it's island guava, sugared citrus, and tangerine zest swirled together amid touches of red currant and lemon leaf. This is from Marshall's. I'm pretty sure you can get it at TJ Maxx or Home Goods too, because you know they're all owned by the same people. So we're gonna light it. I feel like this is just gonna be like a part of my channel. We're gonna do the lighting of a new candle. I still have like 3 other candles that I bought, and then after that I won't do this anymore until I buy the next batch of candles. But we're lighting the candle, and you probably can't tell, but she's lit now. So I'm gonna put it up here. Let's make sure the logo is seen. It's a little dark actually. Huh. Either way, so yeah. Hi besties, how are we doing on this fine, beautiful day? If you're watching this on Monday, happy Monday. If not, I don't know, happy whatever day it is where you are. I don't know, I don't know where I was going with that intro. But either way, if you guys don't know, I'm currently in college, and I know I just give off the energy of being a college-educated person. But I am in college, and I'm a junior in college, and I'm currently getting my degree in, I'm just going to say media studies. I feel like that's a lot easier than to actually try to describe what I'm actually getting my degree in. But it's all about media. It's all about, that stuff. And it is so interesting to me. Journalism is so interesting to me. I didn't even realize that's kind of like what I do already, is giving my opinion on stuff. But last semester, I wrote a paper on sensationalism. And I actually liked it. I found the topic very interesting, and I actually applied it to what was happening at the time, which was, I think, something to do with James Charles. When isn't something happening with James Charles? And I mentioned, Logan Paul and all of this stuff, and I found it really interesting, and this was one of the videos that is in my folder of videos that I always talk about. And I decided, today's the day to talk about sensationalism. So yeah, in today's video, we're going to be talking about sensationalism. I have a lisp, if you didn't know. If you haven't found that out yet, I'm actually shocked. But yeah, so you might be asking me, Zharia, what is sensationalism? You might be thinking like, oh, like you're a sensation, like pop sensation Britney Spears. Kind of, but also no. I'll get into it. Google says that sensationalism is the use of exciting or shocking stories or language at the expense of accuracy in order to provoke public interest or excitement, which basic, very simple definition, but we, ladies and gentlemen, are journalists. So I'll tell you guys like the deep definition. Basically, it's a type of editorial tactic. Events and topics in news stories are selected and worded to excite the greatest number of readers and viewers. This style of news reporting encourages biased or emotionally loaded impressions of events rather than neutrality, and may cause manipulation to the truth of a story. Sensationalism also may rely on reports about generally insignificant matters and portray them as a major influence on society, or biased presentations of newsworthy topics in a trivial or tabloid manner, contrary to the general assumptions of professional journalistic standards. Some of these tactics include being, deliberately obtuse, appealing to emotions, being extremely controversial, almost like purposely omitting important facts and information, being loud and self-centered, and acting to obtain information or obtain attention, basically. It's basically like if clickbait were a thing. if clickbait were... It's literally clickbait. That's what it is. Yeah. In this section, when I was learning in my class, we also learned about fake news, literal clickbait on YouTube, and there were some YouTubers that were in my physical textbook. Crazy experience. But basically, in my textbook, it also talks about how this can lead into tabloid laundering or tabloidization. I'll put the definition on the screen right now because I forgot to write it down. But yeah, and some say it's due to people, you know, there's so much happening on the internet. There's so much, you know, news that's happening every single day. And news publications have to try to break all that down into maybe sometimes 5 or 6 little news stories, and then run that out to like the world, or like locally and stuff like that. So you have to think about, people are trying, like there are so many other people that are competing to get the best possible story. And I'll talk about this later when it comes to YouTube. People want to be the first one to break through. People want to be, you know, oh, I have a crazy, you know, not thumbnail, but I have a crazy headline, so you're going to want to watch mine more than the other thing. And this isn't a thing that was just like within modern society. This thing has been a thing since literal newspapers have been a thing, or even people existed, which I will get into later. But if you're still kind of like wondering what sensationalism is, and you're still trying to like click the things together, luckily I'm not an expert on this. I'm not even gonna say that. But I did get a 90 on the paper. I got the -2 points. I think it was for like formatting. It was something dumb. But basically, some examples of this are, you know, like in 2006 to 2007, before Britney Spears had her situation, but then like, you know, when like Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, and Paris Hilton were having their, you know, cat fight, like beefs for no reason. The reason was to, you know, gain popularity. And I have a video about paparazzi, so I'm not going to talk about it a lot. But paparazzi is one of the biggest, you know, avenues of sensationalism. They get those pictures of celebrities that they then get to use in those tabloid magazines, and then, you know, the cycle repeats. Another example would be when Michael Jackson died. People publicized his death a little bit too much. I would even say when Britney Spears, you know, Britney Spears' whole career was very sensationalized, but specifically when she had her situation that happened in 2007 where she shaved her head and all that stuff, that was very sensationalized. Tiger Woods cheating on his wife was very sensationalized. Recently, I would say something that's very sensationalized would be, you know, Lil Nas X's song Montero, or Call Me By Your Name, and the music video coming out, despite there being, you know, many other artists who have had extreme religious imagery and extremely satanic imagery in the music videos. Hello The Weeknd, hello Billie Eilish. But for some reason, Nas was the one to get the, you know, negative side of it. But yeah, these things are also like not important. Like, I'd say the Nas thing because I'm like, in the grand scheme of things, is it really that important that Lil Nas X danced on Satan? Like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't really matter that much. And if anything, a person would be more upset about... I'm more upset about the potentials of them spreading COVID in that music video than actually, you know, the situation that was happening at hand. But all this to say is that sensationalism is essentially like taking a story and blowing it out of proportions, or everybody talking about a certain story when it does need to get talked about, and sometimes it can push down things that are actually happening right now. So now I'm going to talk about why the media is sensationalized, and it's not like, I'm not going to say that every single media publication, every single media outlet is sensationalized, because that's like not true. At least in my opinion, I'd hope not, but I would say an umbrella term, media is pretty sensationalized. And I'd say the reason why would be that they want you to keep on watching. Like, you know, like how advertisers are put on, you know, websites and, you know, all that stuff. I feel like that news publications want you to get addicted to the stories. They want you to like want to watch those gossipy things. That's why, you know, reality shows, Bad Girls Club, like, you know, Jersey Shore, that's why reality TV does so well. That's why we have like E! News and like all that stuff, is because people love drama and they want you to get addicted to their content. I cannot stress how, well, I get addicted to TV shows pretty easily, as we know. anime is a thing, and I'm recently, I literally, within the past, like, week, have rewatched all of Boondocks. Yes, that is a problem, and yes, I still have been going to work. I finished all my classes because I turned in all my finals early, but yeah, that's what I've been doing with my time, aside from, like, working and filming. So, I got time on my hands sometimes. But they want you to get addicted. They want to keep your attention for as long as physically possible. That's why the YouTube algorithm is the way that it is, because it wants you to stay on the platform for as long as, you can. And also, I want to say that humans generally like gossip. I mean, I'm not one to, be like, oh, well, look at who, so-and-so was with last night, but I very much get very interested in, like, tea. I'm very much interested in gossip. I literally watch all the drama channels, but I watch the majority of drama channels. I am so, I just love watching drama, but I just don't like inserting myself into drama. That's not fun. We don't like that. But humans, generally love gossip. And I mean, you yourself might be like, I hate gossiping. I hate talking about people. I hate, knowing people's business. And that could just be you. But people love to talk about each other, and news publications know that, and they want to capitalize off of that because capitalism in the U.S. Also, to piggyback off of why media is being sensationalized, I'm going to talk about sensationalism in social media. See, this is why the lisp is really coming out in this one. I'm so sorry. And you probably didn't know I had one, but me mentioning it is probably making you realize that I have a lisp. It's all the S's for me. Regardless, sensationalism and social media. Now, first I want to talk about drama channels, and I'll talk about some other stuff later. To understand sensationalism, I feel like a good example is drama channels. Now, I'm not saying drama channels are bad. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, good thing. It's a very neutral thing in my opinion. But it is a good way to see. Drama channels do really well from reporting on what is happening. A lot of people can't keep up with YouTube drama. A lot of people really, if there weren't people reporting on it, a lot of people wouldn't care, which I feel like is also why a lot of influencers get upset that drama channels exist, because if they didn't, then they wouldn't get called out as much. Teach their own. So I think the drama channels in that way are very much sensationalized. They very much will, I'm not saying every single one, but there will be some people who will get to the borderline obsessive amount of making videos. Like I mentioned in my video about when commentary goes too far, and I talk about Without a Crystal Ball, who I think made like 30 something videos on Tati Westbrook, which is like borderline obsessive. Tati ain't done that much for you to make that many videos, or generally creators who make videos, every single day about the same person because it's being sensationalized, because that's a hot topic right now. And I think it's good to bring awareness to things that are happening, but just don't go overboard with it. That can also be very, very damaging to the person who is seeing that. So that's my thing on drama channels really quickly. And I want to also talk about Twitter. Twitter is so, man, I get on Twitter and sometimes I just want to delete it. Like, I just never go back on there. Just find me be on Twitter every single day. Like, I wake up and I check my Twitter first, which is sad. But Twitter is very, very much sensationalized. And I mean, Twitter is a text-based app. So it's not in the same essence of like, YouTube. But what's very interesting to me is like the stuff that goes viral on Twitter. Because it'll be like a person literally getting like, I don't think I can say the word, but like getting unalived by miscellaneous police officers, or, a video of someone doing the busted challenge. The fact that I just got war flashbacks. There's a lot on Twitter, and Twitter is very much about like the shocking, aspect. It's very much about the videos that you see on Twitter are typically very shocking. The pictures typically very shocking. Like it's meant to just like startle you, and then obviously you want to read more because you're like very interested in the topic, which is a great example of sensationalism. And literally YouTube in general, if a thumbnail on a video isn't good enough, people just won't click on it. Like I'm sure there are probably thousands of people that saw my thumbnail for this and decided like, nah, I'm not gonna watch it, whether I'm black, or they don't care about the topic, or they don't like how my face looks in the thumbnail. It doesn't matter. They this video could have like thousands of views, but if the people don't want to click on it, they're not going to click on it. I could have amazing content, but if no one wants to watch it, then no one's going to watch it, which is why appearances are so important. And it was also why clickbaiting is so big on YouTube because people want to at least get the click. Because then if you click on it and, you know, person likes it, then, you know, you gain a subscriber. But, you know, other times it can be really bad because then you do clickbait and then a person watches the video, realizes that it's not what they wanted to watch, and then clicks off. Happens a lot, I see on YouTube. But yeah, and then in terms of like cancel culture, which I hate that word, I prefer the word accountability, you know. And also, it's not cancel culture if you've literally committed a crime. And I feel like I feel like no one should have to say that, but yet here we are. And I mean, even like when you think about like right now currently happening, there's Jeff Wittick who was almost unalived by David Dobrik. Literally, like, you can go and watch the video. It's on YouTube. You have Gabby Hanna having, people are calling it a mental breakdown. People are having it, saying it's a manic episode. She says it's her ADHD, but who's to say? Gabby Hanna is also very sensationalized. If you literally, Gabby Hanna is like not the queen, but knows how to market herself so rapidly that people will just talk about her constantly. She acts crazy. She does all of this stuff because she knows people are going to talk about her, you know. Or like that's how like trolls work. How Trisha Paytas worked for a very long time until recently was make the most shocking thing, do the most shocking video, get people to talk about you, release something, and then rinse and repeat. You know, even David Dobrik constantly, like, he just, you know, lost a lot of his sponsors. He's going through, you know, a lot right now in terms of like accountability and all this stuff. And that's being very sensationalized. And sometimes I feel like stuff isn't sensationalized enough. Like, some stuff isn't talked about enough on YouTube because they're not big creators. Next, I want to talk about what's wrong with sensationalism in my personal opinion. And honestly, there's a lot of ethical problems. In my textbook, it says, there is the question of whether it lowers politics, public events, and public discourse to the level of crude entertainment that is not to be taken seriously, as Neil Postman pointed out. Second, tabloid-style stories can display significant news, politics, economics, international affairs, war, genocide, famine, environmental issues, about which people need to be concerned. Finally, tabloid stories appeal to people's basest feelings and instincts rather than to their intellect and sense of decency. And a lot of people argue that the reason why Donald Trump won, you know, the election in 2016 was because he was talked about so much. Very much the same way with like Brexit. Like, if something is talked about so much and the average American or the average, you know, citizen doesn't really know much about anything, it's very easy to get swayed from just seeing like what you're looking at on the TV and just go with that. If you want to know how easily people will listen to the media, watch the movie Await Further Instructions on Netflix. It isn't really that good of a movie. Like, to be honest, I'd probably rate it like 3 out of 5 stars. But if you are curious about how easily people can listen to the TV and will blindly follow people, you would be shocked. But yeah, so that's my problem. It's just like they can exaggerate and misrepresent information like to the extreme sometimes. This can also happen generally with like news stories that are happening right now, and like during, well, the Black Lives Matter movement isn't just like ending. But I see even with the Black Lives Matter movement, like there were like stories that were getting put out that were, you know, not true, misrepresented, and people went with that and then continued going on and made their infographics and all of this stuff, like not actually fact checking some stuff. And I think it's important to fact check stuff when it appeals to your pathos or your ethos. It's very hard for you to then, you know, go to try to fact check that. Because if you trust it and it gives you an emotional response, of course you're going to, you know, repost it on your story for, you know, 200 people to see. Then that gets reposted and then so on and so forth. And I think it's just very important for us to sit back and, like, just read, you know, research a little bit more. Just double check and make sure the stuff that you're consuming is, like, you know, credible and, like, great. Because you'd be shocked at the amount of people that will deceive you. But yeah, my final thoughts are, sensationalism is something that is very important, and once you know about it, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you get it, like, you know, you're like looking to think about get like a new car, and you keep on seeing that car in the road. It's not because that car is really popular, it's because it's put into your mind and you're going to then notice it, you know. So I feel like it's like that. Like once you know about it and once you truly understand it, then you're gonna see it a lot more and you're gonna be able to identify it more. That's the point of this video. I want you to understand sensationalism, and I want you to sit back and just like realize, maybe I should double check on this, or maybe this person isn't 1,000% credible, or hey, maybe we shouldn't keep on dogpiling onto this person without truly like knowing the full story. I'm not saying that applies to any specific situation right now, but I'm saying like we should, not be so quick to just run with one thing, right? We shouldn't be so quick to run with one side of the story. We should just, listen to the information that is surrounding us, listen to what is happening, and then move on from there. That's all I gotta say. So if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up because it really, really helps small channels like mine. Make sure to also subscribe down below if you like this video. I'm trying to get to 3,000 by the end of May. That's a very big jump I'm trying to make right now, but I think we can do it. And yeah, so make sure to stay happy and stay healthy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.